a new thing has come up regarding the National Unified Network Management System. Talk about is very much related to transmissions. Actually. So, what role do you envision for utilities in supporting the centralized real-time monitoring and enhancing T&D resilience through this scheme? Mr. Miri.
The unified yeah, or the N-UNMS, as you mentioned, is something which I feel will provide a very holistic view, you know, and a very comprehensive view of the entire network. So definitely it will cater to regional and then intra-regional and interstate or intrastate networks. And one key, term that strikes me is that definitely it will help in improved decision making. All right. Now, another aspect is standardization. So, what I feel is that this will definitely help in standardizing operating procedures, facilitating centralized supervision and maintenance of the ISTS communication system. You know, and the roles and responsibilities will be much better defined, I feel. Of course, to be able to do this, we will have to leverage advanced technologies. For example, we'll have to take up, real-time data analytics. We have to think of automated network management, and all of this will definitely help in, enhanced operational reliability is what I feel. So the centralized management is something which is definitely a very good idea. Of course, it will be taken up soon.
See, the way in which the more smarter is the prediction, the flow will be according to it. So it is a question of matching the demand and supply. So how best you can match it, that will be the, see, if we just go, I can tell you maybe 8-10 years back, the frequency used to go very low. I have started, when I started working, we were say isolating at around 47.5 hertz. That's what I remember. Then we migrated to 48 point something. Currently we isolate at 49.4, and our frequency varies between 49.6 to 50.3. 50.35 is odd, 49.55 or 49.5 is too odd sort of frequency. If you say 49.35, at which lot of load shedding takes place. So there's a better management that has got into. That is, even with not adequate kind of infrastructure, that is just enough infrastructure whereby communication still remains high. So as much communication is there, the management will be better and better.
Okay, sir. Amanand sir, you were talking about hybrid system, which you presented. So is there any link to hybrid system and this we are talking about this scheme?
Yeah, definitely, because as far as the smart grid is concerned, right, the usage of AI and machine learning that definitely helps in load forecasting, as mentioned by the speaker. And one more point in line with RE integrations and a kind of self-healing grid segment. That few terminologies will help in line with smart grid operations and the integrations of existing grid in line with digital twinning technologies. So maybe substation, it should also be upgraded. Recently, I was just verifying the question. Someone has asked the question related to transformer monitoring system, right? So that also should incorporate it as per IEC 61850 standards. So digital twin models will definitely allow us simulate fault or optimization maintenance. Even the failure will get occurred, right? And as far as the grid age is concerned, maybe we need to think in small capacity domain as well, like a vehicle to grid technology, a kind of net metering for we can say small rooftop wind turbines, which is a kind of hybrid policy as far as MNRE is concerned. So cybersecurity, yeah, one more point in line with the existing question is cybersecurity. It must not be aforethought. Like following the CEA cybersecurity guideline, it is must, and it needs to incorporate with the existing digitized grid layer, right? So maybe the future of India's electricity sector, it will rely on grid that is not only a low carbon emission, that we are targeting net zero and all, but it also should be digitally connected, and it must be highly flexible, it must be secure from both the physicals and the cyber threat. So the cyber attack or a kind of cyber technologies are also to be incorporated in this technology.
I- Thank you, sir, for this. Mr. Milind, you know, hybrid transmission, what Mr. Manan was speaking about. What is your take on this? Means on the point of technologies which are being involved in this.
So definitely first thing that comes to our mind, and again taking a back step and staying on the UNMS part. So long story short is that different schemes. For example, TBCB came. A lot of ISTS were developed during that point in time. Several advancements happen at load dispatch centers. So there's basically introduced a lot of heterogeneous components or communication systems, right? So the basic or the bottom line is that UNMS is required to unify all of that, right? Now, that being said, if we talk about what Mr. Manan was highlighting in terms of a hybrid transmission system, what it will entail as far as the technology or the emerging tech goes is definitely use of analytics, which is undeniable, coming up strong. However, one basic aspect which we have still not seen in India happening, and which is happening in Middle East, for example, in a very big way, is use of analytics to carry out predictive or prescriptive maintenance, right? And specifically in the sector, there are utilities which are implementing solutions named as asset performance management, which uses AI ML algorithms to be able to basically, in a nutshell, predict when the asset will fail. So the granular the data availability, the better it is for analytical use cases to be implemented. And the use cases are many, but the biggest use case is around ensuring operational efficiency and reducing the operational costs, right? Even if we talk about a hybrid transmission line setup, at the end of the day, it is a system to ensure better efficiency on ground, right? To basically complement that, we will use emerging tech like analytics, etc., right? So what Mr. Manan is saying is basically setting the ground, improving the efficiency on ground, and then using analytics to further enhance it, improve decision making, help or assist in improving or introducing or enhancing sustainability in operations, etc., etc., etc. So step A, go for physical infrastructure augmentation, setting up your infrastructure, and then step two should be, usage of technologies or advanced technologies or emerging tech to basically make sure that you have a smarter and a better connected grid.
Okay. So can you brief about what type of innovations you are expecting in this domain?
So on the transmission side, as far as technology goes, as I said, one thing is which is definitely coming up in a big way is asset performance management, which is coming up. India was setting up the ground for it. We had SCADA, a lot of utilities, and if we talk about all the regional load dispatch centers are going in for upgrade of their SCADA EMS systems, which are almost 10 to 15 years old. Some are divided, of course, the regions are divided between Power Grid and Grid India. And the RFPs, some places the RFPs are floated and the vendors are onboarded. For example, Eastern is sorted, you know, the Southern is sorted, Western, etc. is yet to come. So the SCADA EMS upgradation is definitely one that will come of all the regional load dispatch centers. Second is which we see coming up in a big way in terms of technology adoption is SCADA analytics, Now, with the existing SCADA also, there are systems or tools or open source tools which are available in the market, wherein you can collect the SCADA logs and use AI as well as Gen AI to improve decision making and situational awareness. So that is second. The third one, as I mentioned earlier, is definitely a cyber SOC, and we have everybody from the Ministry of Power to CEA to NCIPC to certain everybody who is aligned on this agenda, and the funds are being made available by PSDF to all the utilities, and they are being and the architecture is also being agreed upon at a central level, following which the DPR etc. will be approved, and they will have to implement a cyber SOC and a NOC, focusing first on IT, and then of course having connection to their syslog systems, etc., and then focusing more on the OT side because it is all critical infrastructure. So these are some of the areas that technology is playing a key role as far as India goes. Of course, there is another aspect of Samast, but many states have already done and dusted it. So as far as SLTC operation goes, it is already done. And then, as I mentioned earlier, VAMs, PMU, etc. This is again something which is also, already being done at several scales, in the transmission utilities.
Uh, uh, Sanjeev sir, if I talk about what to skill the new upcoming generation, if I say, for such type of project executions of hybrid transmission, shifting to hybrid transmission. So how we are going to do that as a senior person from your point of view?
You are looking at something sort of a competency development or a skill that should be acquired for it.
Skills required for
Skill set that is supposed. There is no dearth of skill. See, largely as has been spoken by Milind, there is a lot of it. Lot of data collection is already taking place. Where we miss out is in terms of analytics that does not exist in places. We miss out on lot of history that we could have captured for certain things, that out of that data, how much of it we can capture and get into in terms of history. All that will be more and more useful, because with improvements in infrastructure or with easier ways of erecting those infrastructure, see, the way we were erecting things has considerably seen a change. It is not the very same like it used to be earlier, although we are still into, if we are into electrical, one thing that all of us know is we still are into sort of a, I would say, a HISA technology, with which we pull on the towers, we pull on the cables, we are still on there. We have not left it. Yes, there are problems. We want to do it cheaper, we want to do it faster, but yes, with everything, yes, sasta kya hota hai, that is what we look at. Yes, but then next gen, if it gets into how these things can get smarter. If I look at something that is on electrical, when we talk of EMS, if you go and look at EMS, you find that a lot of softwares that are deployed there are quite sort of I find it primitive. Personally, I have found a lot of electrical softwares that are being used are primitive. So more and more of electrical and electronics engineers are required to bring up that software to the level at which, say, on a same control room, I see a DCS functioning very fast and very well, whereas EMS not functioning to the same state. When you start for the same state, it starts getting limited. So yes, that speaks volumes about as to how there is a role for electrical come electronics engineer who will help improve things. So it is not only electrical, but electrical and electronics is something, in my opinion, which will lead the way.
Speaking about the current scenario, Mr. Pankaj, if I say with your extensive experience in project execution, how do you see digital tools like data analytics and mobility solutions transforming large-scale T&D projects in India?
Okay.
Speaking of the current scenario.
So currently, the project planning softwares and I would say risk management softwares are being used for the project execution and then project management. So in last 5 to 10 years, a lot of digital dashboards has come to give a live or should I say up to date information to the management or the review team. That has greatly enhanced the visibility as we are going forward with a lot of AI, ML, and all these data capture is going on. A lot of predictive analytics will come that based on the current state of the project, what are the right options in the terms of the decision making when we see a risk versus action required. So project management will go into that direction with the a lot of integration of AI and all those things in the planning and in a governance software. So that is the trend. This will greatly help in fast tracking the decisions required by the management team or the project team.
Recent data says 50% of renewables have been achieved before ahead of the timeline.
Yes.
There is a prediction that by 2032, fiscal 2032, there will be a demand of 388 megawatt of power. So, Mr. Sanjeev sir, if I ask this to you, how we will, achieve this with the integration of renewable and the present structure what we have? What is your take on this?
See, large scale development on renewables that has taken place has been on solar generation. Uh, Next one is that we are also adding wind to it to cover that variability. But where we lack largely is happens to be energy storage systems, which are very few as of now. So large scale energy storage systems, government has now mandated that with new solar power stations coming up, if I can call it a power station sort of, because they are large size, they are supposed to come up with battery energy storage system so that they can supply power during off-peak hours. So that is something, energy storage system is something which is still to be developed, and that needs to be developed in order to utilize whatever capacity we further add. That will improve the capacity utilization that we have as of now of solar. Yes, current solar will have to be maintained, plus capacities are still there on cards which are to be added.
Okay, sir. So we'll quickly have closing statements from you all. We talked about hybrid transmission systems. We talked about the current scenario, what we have, the present infrastructure, whatever is available in our country. We talked about the present technologies, what we have. More and more, we are now moving to AI and ML things. As far as these AI tools are being developed. So putting all these together, if I ask from you all, one by one, if you can close it up, Musa, your closing statement. So what will you say, Mr. Pankaj, from your sides? Mr. Milin, sir, a big opportunity. What's your take on this?
Yeah, definitely a big opportunity. So how I would like to summarize is basically, the grid, of the future is intelligent, and it will be autonomous, and it will be resilient, right? And definitely the time to build it is now. However, what we feel is that the utilities that embrace these transformative T&D technologies today will definitely lead the energy transition tomorrow. That being said, they have to space out or give space to investments in technology at par with what they are investing in infrastructure augmentation. If they are doing that, then definitely they will be uh, the leaders tomorrow. This is what I have to say. And I've already mentioned about the technologies. Just a couple to add is definitely another aspect is, having, for example, having an intelligent protection system to monitor or, read the substation meters via OCR just by putting some cheap cameras there, as well as ensuring that there is physical security. So these are the kind of solutions which are coming up in a big way. We have open source, we have indigenous, a lot of push to startups. So technology is definitely the future, complemented by infrastructure augmentation. That's from my side.
Yeah, Mr. Manan, your take, sir.
Yes, thank you for the question. And I guess target are in front of us 2030, 2047, and 2070. So huge investment are going on like recently 1 lakh crore has been sanctioned for R&D purpose for the new technologies and all. So definitely huge scope, and as rightly said by Sanjeev sir, it is an highway. Transmission line is highway. We need to scrutinize it. We need to improve the overall functionality of this highway. Without that, definitely it's quite difficult for us to achieve the target that are in front of us. In general, to power a sustainable and digital India, so-called smart grid technologies, our grid must evolve into a smart, secure, and resilient backbone that definitely connects every watt to every part. So we are incorporating with cybersecurity concepts, we are incorporating with hardcore engineering, and definitely digital India kind of concepts can incorporate the same. So definitely targets are with us. We definitely can achieve that target, and almost all domain is working towards achieving that target. So definitely we will try to incorporate the same.
Mr. Sanjay, sir, as you started with the very simplifying the things through highway concept, I would request you to wind up in a very simplifying way.
No,
Concept.
with the kind of information that is available, with the kind of knowledge that is available all around, and with the kind of efforts that is being put by the government as well as by the private partners. So I am very sure we are on the right path. We are on the right way, so that we'll have wonderful highways. We'll be able to drive at 130 kilometers per hour on a continued basis without interruption, unless and until we want to get down. So we will be on our highways. So our highways are being constructed. Yes, we are on the right path, and we will do it definitely. We will have a reliable grid and a reliable transmission where interruption will be something. If something like your eye blinks, you will have to think over why did it blink. Okay, so yes, we will reach that. There's no doubt about it.